Imagine inventing oxygen, unlocking the secret of bleach, and tasting pure poison, all before your 44th birthday. Sound impossible? One chemist literally risked everything just to know what his discoveries tasted like. Meet Carl Wilhelm Scheele, the scrappy, self-taught scientist who changed the world, then tragically paid the price for his own curiosity. At a time when chemistry was more like wild alchemy, Scheele's kitchen lab became ground zero for the most jaw-dropping experiments in history. It's the late 1700s. Safety goggles? Fume hoods? Nope. Scheele is hunched over bubbling concoctions, glass in one hand, notes in the other, and incredibly, his tongue ready for a taste test. If it fizzes, stings, or burns, that's just more data. Every test might be his last. You probably recognize the names of legendary chemists like Lavoisier or Priestley. But here's the twist. Scheele actually discovered oxygen before any of them, but waited too long to publish. He whipped up chlorine gas, manganese, even glycerol, all in a small Swedish pharmacy lab. And he tasted them one by one, searching for clues. Scheele's superpower was his unbelievable curiosity. No gloves, no instructions, just trial, error, and taste. Was it reckless? Absolutely. But for Scheele and his era, chemistry wasn't neat or safe. It was wild, dangerous, and full of surprises. Each new compound was like an alien life form. But here's the real jaw-dropper. He routinely sipped his experiments, including acids, deadly gases, and heavy metals. We're talking about a guy who tasted cyanide and lived to describe the flavor. Why would anyone do this? What did he hope to discover? And how did he survive as long as he did? Picture this, you sitting in your kitchen, seeing a mysterious fizz in your coffee pot. Would your first instinct be to taste it? Scheele had to know. He needed to map the unknown, even if it meant tiptoeing along the edge of disaster for the sake of truth. Let's zoom in on Scheele's process with one of his most famous moments, the discovery of fire air, what we now call oxygen. Most people thought air was just one thing, indivisible, but Scheele noticed that burning certain chemicals produced a gas that made flames blaze brighter, almost supernaturally so. In his cramped pharmacy workshop, Scheele heated mercuric oxide and collected the gas, and then did what only he would. He inhaled it and felt invigorated. He literally got high on pure oxygen, years before anyone else understood what was happening at the molecular level. Same goes for chlorine. When Scheele mixed hydrochloric acid and manganese dioxide, a greenish-yellow gas wafted up. Most people would run. Scheele cooled some, snipped a whiff, and watched the vivid bleaching effect on litmus paper. And soon on industries around the globe. Bleach, the stuff cleaning your clothes, exists thanks to his nose and tongue. But not every test had a happy ending. Scheele's discoveries included cyanide, hydrogen fluoride, and arsenic-based compounds, each more toxic than the last. Ever wonder what they taste like? Too bad. Scheele already risked it all, so you don't have to. Why did taste matter to him? In the 1700s, scientists didn't have fancy spectrometers or molecular models. Taste and smell were literally their primary diagnostic tools, a risky, sometimes fatal tradition. Yet without these crude experiments, we might still believe in phlogiston or think gases are just stage magic. Scheele's methods came at an unbearable cost. Persistent illness, mysterious pains, coughs, and eventually his death at age 43. No modern scientist would dare replicate this approach, and for good reason. Ironically, the legacy of his deadly curiosity is the push for safer, smarter chemistry we depend on today. Let's bust one myth right now. Scheele didn't die in a single dramatic explosion or from tasting one specific lethal compound. Instead, it was a savage, slow burn, years of cumulative poisoning from lead, arsenic, and who knows what else. Chemistry was his passion, but also his poison. In his short, some would say borrowed, lifetime. Scheele transformed chemistry from mystical guesswork to disciplined science. His willingness to taste danger, literally and figuratively, paved the way for modern breakthroughs at a tragic personal price. The next time you pour bleach, open a bottle of fizzy soda, or even breathe deeply, remember, much of what makes modern life possible was discovered by a man who believed curiosity was worth every risk, even the fatal ones. His story asks a haunting question. What would you dare to discover if safety wasn't a barrier? If you could witness the birth of a new element, or change the very code of reality itself? Stick around, because in a moment, we'll uncover just how many of Scheele's accidental discoveries ended up changing your daily routine. And a shocking fact about a household chemical you use all the time. What's one thing in your kitchen you would never taste, not even for science? Tell us in the comments. And who knows, maybe you'll inspire the next episode. Imagine if curiosity could still run this wild. What new elements or world-changing compounds are waiting, just beyond our current reach, for someone brave or reckless enough to try? Carl Wilhelm Scheele's saga proves that science is equal parts courage, curiosity, and cautionary tale. Thanks to him, chemistry is safer, smarter, and still as intoxicatingly wondrous as the day he first tasted something new. Next time you take a breath or mix up a cleaning solution, thank the chemist who risked his life so you wouldn't have to. And if you think Scheele's story ends here, wait until you meet the scientist who discovered a deadly gas by setting himself on fire. Subscribe for that wild ride.